Now, news broke yesterday while we're on air that there was a devastating earthquake that had smashed through parts of Turkey and Syria. Now, as it stands, and these numbers are sure to change, sadly, 4,300 people, just run that figure through your head, are known to have been killed. The numbers of injured, we just don't know yet. The earthquakes were close to Turkey's border with Syria. I'm sure you've seen during the day on Sky awful images of buildings completely destroyed, collapsing, images of multi-storey apartment towers just falling to the ground. As I said, tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of people in one way or another have been injured. It's winter there. Rescue teams are racing against the clock, freezing conditions in the region. Joining me live from our studio in Canberra is the Turkish Ambassador to Australia, Ambassador Gezer. Thank you very much for your time. It's dreadful to have to talk to you under such circumstances. What are your contacts back in Turkey, Ambassador, telling you about the latest situation? Because it's just gone, I think, 9 a.m. and it's just about to get light there.
Thank you, Steve, for having me, for giving me the opportunity of explaining what's happening on the ground. Yes, you are absolutely right. This is the winter time, so the conditions are not so suitable for rescue efforts. Despite that, more than 13,000 now rescue workers are working on the ground. There are some challenges. Number one challenge is, of course, the vast area that this earthquake has hit. We're talking about 13.5 million people who've been hit by the earthquake. And in addition to saving people under the rubble, there are other challenges such as providing shelter, food, heating, and others to those who are in need. The international efforts are also underway. We have, as we speak, currently a lot of international aid and rescue teams on the ground. They are working through the night, and as you said, it's morning in Turkey now. The temperatures are a little higher than yesterday, thankfully, but it's been snowing in part of the places where earthquake has hit. So the conditions are quite difficult. Despite that, the rescue teams are working tirelessly.
Ambassador, those images we're seeing there, I think you can see them as well. They're actually live pictures out of Turkey. It almost seems like an impossible thing for these rescue workers. It doesn't look like they have the heavy equipment that is necessary, but you could give me a better idea of how prepared is Turkey for an earthquake like this. I mean, given that it looks like one of the worst this century, you can never be that prepared, but are you confident that you can dig some more survivors out of this rubble?
I would like to be confident, but nobody can be confident given the enormity of the situation. As you said, this is an earthquake. This is a tragedy of unprecedented level that hit our country. The size, the magnitude of the earthquake, and we're not talking about one earthquake, actually two back-to-back earthquakes. The first one hit towards the morning around 4 a.m. And the other one hit around 1 p.m. So that made the situation even worse because people were caught sleeping in the first earthquake, which hit this vast area. We're talking about 10 provinces, as I said, more than 13 million people. So the job ahead of us is enormous. How prepared we were? We have a disaster management authority who is in charge of coordinating the efforts, and all the ministries are working in tandem with the under the coordination of this disaster management authority. As I said, more than 13,000 rescue workers have been dispatched to the area. We sent more than 3,000 heavy equipment to the area for lifting of the rubble and helping with the rescue efforts. In addition to that, as I said, more than 45 countries have sent search and rescue teams. They're also helping with the effort of saving lives. But the task is just enormous. I think we need all the help that we can get, and our call on the international community is that we need medical kits, first and foremost, and we also need search and rescue teams, both medium and heavy, who could do that job. That would be the initial response, and that's quite critical. We have another 48 hours until we reach the survivors under the rubble. That's what we need, and that's an urgent call for all international partners.
Ambassador, you're a relatively new appointment to Australia, have not been here that long, but as you now know and well know, we have very large Turkish communities that have settled in Australia, particularly in cities like Sydney and Melbourne. How are you getting information to those family members? How are they going to get more information about what might have happened in their community? And are people already contacting your embassy saying we need to get back there and help?
That's right. I mean, we have about 150,000 Turkish Australians. And as you rightly said, I'm new in Canberra and I'm new in Australia. It's been only 2 weeks. But I'm trying to get together with the community as much as possible. Yes, they've been reaching out to us, asking for help to reach to their loved ones in Turkey. Our consulates in Sydney and Melbourne, they have hotlines. Our citizens can easily call our consulates, and our colleagues are on 24/7 shift. They have been answering phone calls, and our embassies also answering calls and responding emails. And also the communication lines. In the beginning of the earthquake, in the beginning of the aftermath of the earthquake, the communication lines were down for a couple of hours. But now, despite some hiccups, they're pretty much okay and they're up and running. And we've been trying to help to our citizens who are residing in Australia to the best of our ability.
The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, stepped up to the plate today. $10 million was pledged straight away to go to the parts of the rescue operation that needs it. How pleased are you that the Australian people were able to do that for the Turkish community?
I'm quite pleased, and the way how Australia showed an immediate reaction to this tragedy by pledging this initial response to help alleviate the problems in the area deserves all the praise, and we are really appreciative of the Albanese government and the Prime Minister himself taking the lead and showing an immediate reaction in the aftermath of the earthquake. We are really appreciative of that fact.